Good morning, everyone. If you can just perhaps let me know. Okay, there we go. I'm hearing you guys. Thank you very much, Mike, Patrick, Mark, and Gilbert. Excellent. Today it is March the 3rd. A bit excited myself. We're very close to spring. Although, just to let typically I think that we Canadians also tend to be recognize the weather so much, and that's why we talk about the weather so much. So it's not that we don't have anything more interesting to talk about than the weather, but I tell you, any Canadian I see that is tired of the winter will tell you that January and February is really tough. Now, I love Canada. I love this country. Opened up the doors to my family, but I can tell you that the cold is something that you got to get used to. And we're lucky here in Toronto because I know that our ICs in Winnipeg or in Alberta and some other provinces are worse than us. But you know what? Enough about the weather. Very excited to be here. March, spring is in the air, and we have an exciting webinar today with you to share with you. And as a matter of fact, we have some great news as well. And just to kind of go over the agenda, we're going to have some news and articles. I'll tell you, it was a bit challenging for me to choose the news and articles to touch base on today because there's so many things happening in our industry. All of a sudden, it seems like March is happening, and a lot of things happened also late last week. And some of you have been privy to some information in regards to Google, so we'll talk about that. We're going to have a case study also about a recent website conversion. As a matter of fact, the IC who worked on the project with us is attending, so look forward to sharing that with you, and hopefully he'll be happy as well. I didn't ask him permission, so my apologies, Mark. But it was a good case study. Excellent. So let's start with the first piece of news, and I'm going to have my colleague Amalia, who's also here, and she's going to start. She's going to say hello to everybody and start us off. Let's go, Amalia. Oh, it seems that Amalia, are you there? Okay, I guess Amalia is having technical issues. For some reason, she was having some issues with her mic. So, Amalia?
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Another great morning. Anyways, I just want to say good morning to everyone. What I want to share this morning was a very interesting article. It's in regards to Google's news update. What it's regards to is after a long testing period, Google has officially decided to consider mobile friendliness and index apps as a ranking factor in its search results. There's no denying more and more users are shifting their search habits from desktop to mobile. And so in order to help them discover what's most relevant and quality results, Google will soon surface more content that is optimized for mobile. This is an algorithm update which will start taking effect on April 21st of this year, and it will affect mobile searches in all languages worldwide. Okay, so to prepare for the change, Google does suggest that webmasters should either conduct a mobile-friendly test or examine mobile usability issues by using the Mobile Usability Report in Google Webmaster Tools. Additionally, and effective immediately, Google will consider the information from index apps as another ranking factor for signed-in users who have the app installed. Specifically, content from index apps may rank higher in Google search results for relevant queries. So as a result, app developers will have to establish a relationship between the web pages and app deep links. Okay. Armando, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, well, this is what we've been waiting for, everyone. April 21st is really the D-Day. I guess it's going to be another update in Google's algorithm. They've given us that date as April 21st, where they're going to really start now using mobile friendly websites as a ranking factor. Now, we've been talking about it for months. We've been saying it here on the LaunchPad. I've been talking to ICs. I've been in meetings where ICs are really promoting this. So this is it. If you are doing an SEO campaign with one of your clients and their website's not SEO friendly, you have to definitely connect with them. You put a plan together, a strategy together, because if their website is not mobile friendly by April 21st, I will tell you their rankings will drop. I'm not going to say how substantial because we don't know that yet. We don't know the effect of this ranking factor. I would imagine that Google would just roll it out worldwide as they have explained, and little by little it's going to be more of a higher ranking factor or more importance in terms of importance. But this is very important. As a matter of fact, I just pull out here the Google Webmaster Central blog, where this is, this is coming down from Google, and it talks about two things, which is a mobile-friendly website. So very important. If your clients don't have a responsive website, this is it. We've been kind of talking about 2015, the year of mobile or responsiveness. Well, it brings a lot of opportunities to the ICs because you are now pretty much free to go out there and connect with website owners who are not your clients today, and they don't have responsive websites. So this is very critical. It doesn't matter how much SEO you're doing, definitely your rankings will be impacted. So you have about 2 months, 60 days to convert your websites. And moving forward, I wouldn't sell a website unless it's responsive. I know that some ICs, they kind of very cognizant or very they empathize with their clients' budgets, but it's not an option anymore. You have to get it done. So if you have any questions, feel free to connect with us, but it's pretty much the writing is right there. Google has said it, April 21st. We're going to take it as a ranking signal. Again, I don't know. We don't know at this stage how the level of importance of this, but I can assure you that by the end of the year, it will become a really important factor in SEO. Okay, so this is a major news, and it came out last week, I think Thursday. So it's February 26th. So it's out there. The other piece of news, which is also interesting, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this one, like Amalia shared with it, is also that Google's going to now start ranking apps, mobile apps. So for they've developed the technology. They've kind of been testing the technology where now any content that's on mobile apps is going to get indexed. So it's another opportunity also for those companies that do have mobile apps as part of their overall digital marketing strategy. They can now get indexed through the Google App Indexing. I don't have much more to share with you today on this component. I know there are different schools of thought, pro mobile apps and against mobile apps. So we want to be able to share good value information. So give us about 1 to 2 weeks. We're going to collect more information, look at the different thought leaders in the industry in regards to mobile apps. It doesn't mean that you have to go out there and get a mobile app, or that a mobile app is better than a responsive website. We want to be clear that right now Google's saying, look, your website has to be mobile friendly. If responsive is the way to go, I mean, if you have a mobile based foundation like a Duda mobile, it's also good, but as you know, Duda or great tool, but also with some limitations in regards to SEO. So in regards to apps, give us about 1 to 2 weeks. We're going to gather information with the team, and we'll share more information about what's the best way to approach the mobile apps. Okay, so anyways, great piece of news, and thank you, Amalia, for sharing that with us today. I think that this is exciting times because it definitely gives ICs an opportunity to do a bit of upselling, as well as reaching out to clients that don't have a mobile-friendly website. Okay, if you go to the Google Webmasters, and let me see if I can post it here. Just give me a quick second. I'm going to pause my screen for a second. I'm actually going to share the link with you all on the chat box. There we go. And I'm gonna if you want to read more about it, if you have questions, please feel free to connect with us. But it's right here, RWD, or mobile friendly sites. And I will get back to you hopefully within a week or two in regards to more about mobile apps and how app indexing is going to be very critical as well in 2015. Excellent. Another piece of news is really our I guess our monthly search share report. And today I have two different reports. One that is really from ComScore, which is a reputable data organization. And just wanted to share a little bit about what's happening in the industry. As you can see, in December 2014, we had Google pretty much owning 65.4% of all the searches, primarily in the U.S. In the world, and now they're at 64.4. So we had shared this before, where they had lost a little bit of traction, a couple of points, and that has allowed Yahoo to gain some traction. So Microsoft sites or Bing driven sites, they had 19.7 share of the market. They stayed at the same level as December. But Yahoo had a bit of an increment in January. So this is a report from ComScore, one source that is telling us that Yahoo has increased its share in across the board, primarily for desktop only. Very important to know, this is desktop only. Okay, I'm going to go to the next slide. The next slide that I have here, it's a little bit different because in this case, it definitely shows, for example, a different set of stats. As of February 2015, as you can see, Google search engine continues to have a larger share globally, right? You can see that they have probably about 79, close to 80% of the share, and then they dropped a little bit, has dropped in the last few months, obviously because of the Yahoo Firefox deal is one of the components. One of the factors they're saying. However, what I wanted to share also, that Yahoo did drop 0.3% in the last, it's very minimal. You can't see it here, it's in yellow. You can see that there was an increase last year, or 4 or 5 months ago, and then, it kind of started to plateau. Bing, which is the blue, is just pretty much stagnant. Why is this important? It's just very important for you as a consultant to not only be aware of the stats of what's happening, but also to consider the other search engines in your overall digital marketing strategy for your clients. Right? If you are doing paid search, for example, now WSI has signed, or we are a Bing partner as well, as you may be aware. And it's very important that you take into consideration, for example, advertising on Yahoo and Bing. Okay, perhaps you put a smaller budget towards that type of paid search campaign, but do not ignore it. It's something that's out there. Okay. Now these are U.S. stats, right? And then the other thing that I wanted to share with you are also U.S. search share by Firefox users. We have seen an increase in Firefox users to move towards Yahoo, Bing or Yahoo Yahoo because of their deal with Firefox. As a matter of fact, in January they reached the highest level of 28.3% total share when people are using Firefox as a browser, right? And Google had dropped to 63.9%. In regards to the search share for users of Firefox browsers. However, this month there's been a bit of a turnaround where now Yahoo dropped about a percentage and Google gained some as well. As a matter of fact, even Bing drops, a few points here. Not full points, but a point of a percentage. So just keeping you in the loop of what's happening in the different search engines in different markets, specifically in the U.S. Obviously, U.S. somewhat dictates what's happening everywhere in North America and in the world. But Google continues to be, recouping a little bit of that loss. But we're hoping that this increases. As a matter of fact, last Wednesday or Thursday, I believe, I was invited by one of our ICs to a meet and greet with some of the Canadian CIO Association, the Association for Chief Information Officers, and we had the opportunity to speak with the CIO of Microsoft, and a very passionate individual. He talked to us a little bit about, obviously, some of the plans that Bing is really focusing on, kind of gaining that a little bit of ground on Google. They understand they're never going to beat them, and if you talk to any Bing executive, they'll tell you, look, we know that Google is the big gorilla in the room. However, little by little, we want to chip away at specific areas or segments. And in speaking with the CIO from Microsoft on Wednesday, he was very clear and very positive about the new developments in regards to their different platforms and how they want to make sure that that Bing, for example, in this case, becomes the standard browser. So whether you are on your phone, you are, and it's using a Microsoft platform that runs it, or you're on your desktop or your laptop or your tablet or even Xbox, they want to make sure that Bing becomes the default browser. I mean, if you're using, for example, any other type of game consoles, for example, you'll notice that they usually come with either YouTube or Google as the default browser for internet, but they want to change that. So anyhow, some exciting news also coming from Bing. I know that head office will be touching base on that in the next weeks, because we're really working right now with the Bing team to develop strategies to help ICs better position Bing and advertise, but more to come. But just wanted to share that with you as well today. Lovely gentleman, very professional, very nice, and very positive about the things that are happening. Another piece of news that we wanted to share today was in regards to an interesting test from Google. They're now doing some testing if your site's a bit slow. So Google, as you know, has made a page speed a ranking factor in their search algorithm. So if you have slow sites, that will impact your search engine rankings, because it is a ranking factor. They want fast, clean websites. So we know about that, and as a matter of fact, it's one of the things that we try to work. And we understand that sometimes the biggest challenge that we have as a production center is that because we are working, let's say, with technologies like let's say WordPress, for example, or even if we're going to Joomla, although we are kind of staying away a little bit from Joomla due to the challenges in technology and their versioning. But let's say you are working with even Drupal or WordPress. Some of the different functionalities, whether it be plugins or extensions, these plugins or extensions that are out there are really made by technical people, and sometimes these technical people don't take the time to make sure that they are fast downloading, that they will improve the page speed, and sometimes they weigh down, these plugins weigh down this page speed. So it is a bit of an issue sometimes that these plugins do slow the speed of the website. So be very careful if you are looking at customizing some sites and you do are reviewing some plugins out there on WordPress. Make sure that page speed is an important element in your review, to make that they will not slow down your website, but will make it go faster or in a very good time. But anyhow, here again, Google doing a little bit of testing out there. They're basically now highlighting and adding slow labels. So to my right, you see 3 slow labels in these search results, right? Where they're saying slow. Interesting enough is YouTube, which is a Google-based website, and also here Google in India, I guess. So it's testing right now these slow labels, and it's pretty much the goal is to indicate to you as a user that if you're going to be clicking on this website or in this link, sorry, the website may be a bit slow. So right now, Google hasn't come out and officially said we're doing this. They're kind of doing a bit on the back end. They're saying we're always experimenting. But again, page speed must be considered in your next web development project. They're very important that you take that into consideration, and be wary of heavy images on your homepage and inner pages, as well as slow plugins. Okay, so something to keep in mind. Again, Google kind of doing a little bit of testing. We don't know if that's going to really roll out, but it's something to keep an eye on. Okay. The other piece of information also coming from Search Engine Land is in regards to Google City searches now include hotel booking info on their knowledge graph. So if you were to type in, for example, Louisville, Kentucky on the Google search bar, you'll get search results, and primarily you'll get what they call the Google search knowledge graph, which is really, or the city search knowledge graph, which is basically on the right-hand side. And if you can, I think they're doing it also for New York, San Francisco. And what they're doing is they're actually now adding a new piece of information, which is hotels. So it actually gives you a bit of your finger tips. It gives you hotels, and once you click on View Hotels, you then get redirected to another page with all the search results of hotels in Louisville, Kentucky. In this case, they have used the word Louisville KY hotels, and it definitely just gives you all of the search results for hotels. So something also very interesting, if you do have some clients in the hotel industry, they haven't really said how it's being, how you can, your hotel can perhaps leverage from this. I mean, the best way is obviously to make sure that if you do have someone in the hotel industry that you're optimizing them for their city keywords, right? So geo-target them, right? Because this shows that, for example, Louisville, Kentucky, or KY hotels, and it's pulling information from this page when you click on View Hotels. So just keep an eye on that if you have any clients in the hotel industry. Google, it seems to be experimenting at this stage. It has rolled it out to some cities like I said, Louisville. I saw it on New York and also San Francisco. There may be 2 or 3 other cities, primarily in the U.S., that they're testing this. But again, another interesting project that Google is working on. Okay. Oops, move faster. Another one that I thought was interesting, and these are things that are potentially could be coming up in the next few months, or even perhaps even beyond that, is that Google researchers have introduced a system to rank web pages on facts, not links. Okay. Now, in our industry and even within our network, there's been a bit of two sides in regards to a link building strategy. And in our adaptive SEO methodology, we do include healthy link building, right? Through different tactics, let's say, right? However, we do have ICs that always ask us, well, are links still a ranking factor? Well, as of today, they're still a ranking factor, right? If you're linking correctly, it's not really linking with, you have to do some white hat link building strategies. You can't just be doing what in the past people were doing, was just buying or purchasing or link farming, etc. But now Google researchers are really trying to test this out. They're introducing a system where websites are going to be ranked based on facts, based on content, and reward those pages based on how accurate their content is, based on what they call the knowledge-based trust. Okay, so it's something that I wanted to share with you, and something that's going to be coming up probably in the next few months. I will, if you have any questions, let us know. But I did want to let you know, still a test. There is basically, as a matter of fact, there's a PDF. There's a link to the PDF that I can share with you all in regards to how this project is coming along and how they actually developed this KBT knowledge-based trust. It hasn't been deployed. It's something that Google at this stage is still experimenting. Okay, so if you have any questions and want more information, let us know and we'll send you the link. Okay, excellent. The next, let me just move over here. The next piece of information that I wanted to share with you is in regards to a winning mobile strategy. Okay, and because kind of moving into the whole topic and theme of mobile-friendly websites, we as of April 21st, we definitely have to consider having a winning mobile strategy for our clients at the local level. Okay, according to this study done by Local Search Association and their local media tracking study, they found that on average, mobile phones, smartphones are used to search the internet. So we know that. That's a given. Okay, and people will search across different search engines, in yellow pages, internet yellow pages, ratings, review sites, etc. 42% of the time compared to just 34. So within 1 year, between 2013 and 2014, that number increased by about 8%. Okay, of people actually now spending more time doing local searches on their phone. Okay, never mind general searches, but now we're talking about local searches. Okay, so it's very important that as you are as you are developing your client's local SEO strategy or local digital marketing strategy, sorry, I would rather say their overall digital marketing strategy, you take into consideration how you can have a winning mobile strategy. So I'm kind of going to go quickly through these 10, and I'm going to go into more detail in a second, but definitely wanted to share this with you. Number one, mobile strategy is now a must-have. I mean, writing's on the wall. Consumers are responding very well to mobile marketing. More consumers on the go looking for local info on mobile devices. Okay, consumers use phones in stores, so this is very important. We had a breakfast with Google early in January, and I remember the VP at Google mentioning this and really putting a sense at the fact that people will actually at the store they will be doing searches. So if I'm going to go buy, let's say, a refrigerator, or if I'm going to go buy even as simple as perfume or anything, people are actually, and I'm at the store. Let's say I'm at a store that sells refrigerators, and I will actually walk into the store and start really comparing prices, not only of the store that I'm in, but also with stores around me. Right? And this was a behavior that I thought, oh no, I mean, who has the time to do that, right? But this recent study is saying that people are actually going into the stores. They're not only trying to learn more about that specific product they're seeing, they're touching, they're feeling at the store, but they're also doing additional research on it while at the store. Consumers respond to mobile marketing when relevant to buying decision. Again, it's part of the decision making. On-the-go consumers on mobile are action-oriented, meaning they will purchase, right? They will take action. They will take some sort of action. Local search mobile devices skew towards younger generations. I'll touch base on that in a second. Mobile ad campaign performance data available in significant volume in detail. So if you are looking at launching a strategy for your clients, make sure that you have all this information at your fingertips to make sure you're creating that winning mobile strategy. Consumers prefer mobile websites over mobile apps. Again, you see this specific report shows that people will prefer mobile websites over mobile apps. Interestingly enough, I just read an article today where there was an SEO author talking about the opposite of the fact that people like mobile apps more than mobile websites. So it's a little bit of a battle brewing here between mobile websites and mobile apps, heightened by the fact that now Google is going to be making changes to their algorithms in April 21. So everything revolves around that right now. Mobile users on the go usually search with local intent. Okay, so just give me a quick second. I will pause my screen for a second because I actually want to go through this article and probably spend a little bit of time with you on it. Just 1 second. And the reason I want to spend time on it is because not only are there some really good bits of information here, but also I'm always thinking from a sales perspective. Let me just share the article also with you. Just give me a quick second. And the reason I want to share is because there's also some really great images and infographics that you can share in your sales presentations when when you're doing anything. So we talked about mobile strategies, now a must-have. So they have this graph. I believe this is pretty much U.S. numbers again, but you can definitely tell that as of 2014, the device used to search the internet. So you have mobile phones, you have computers and laptops, and you can see that obviously mobiles continues to grow across the board. So the yellow pages, for example, you can see that people are surfing in the yellow pages. Search engines this is the main one. Search engines. If ratings and review sites, you can see that people are really very close. If they're going to be buying something, they'll check out their phone, right? Daily deals. Look at this. This is interesting. So some interesting data for you to take away and even use in your presentations. Consumers respond better to mobile marketing. Very interesting also on the report. Consumers that have clicked or tapped on a mobile advertisement on their mobile device, 53% made a purchase. 40% within the same day, 78% within a few days. So definitely it's something that tells you that users are making decisions based on their activities on their mobile. Hence, mobile marketing is something that you should take into consideration. More consumers on the go looking for local info on mobile devices. That's what I was kind of telling you a little bit about. There's we're kind of seeing that people on the go they want information fast, and a majority of the searches for local information on mobile phones, 52%, occur while consumers are either in the car or away from home or work. So they're on the go, right? So it's something very, very important. So if you have any prospects or clients that could benefit from a mobile marketing strategy or a strategy that focuses on mobile marketing, here are your proof points. Okay. Definitely you have to be able to, why is there a takeaway? Because you have to be able, as a local business, be able to reach out to those people that are on the go. If you don't, you're definitely not targeting them, and your competition is going to do it. This is what I was talking to. Consumers use phones in stores and they plan accordingly. So look at this. Interesting, another graph. If you are pitching to, let's say, a business that it's at let's say a mall or a plaza or strip of plazas, here you go. Look, how often do you use your smartphone while shopping in malls, grocery, or retail stores? And it definitely tells you. Look at this number. Often, right? So people are actually, if they're shopping around, even if they're in the grocery store, they're using their phones to find things out. Okay. So mobile marketing again. Consumer response to mobile marketing when relevant to buying decision. Another interesting graph here from the local search report here. The main reasons the mobile ad consumers make a purchase. Is the ad compelling? Not necessarily. It's only 12%. The content was relevant to something I was already looking for. Content marketing. So part of your mobile marketing strategy should be content marketing. Okay, having your blogs with fresh content. It could include not just text, but video, images, etc. Also, it provided an attractive discount or deal. So very important. Okay. You have to target these individuals. On-the-go consumers on mobile are action-oriented, so it kind of gives you a little bit more about the fact that they do take actions, right? Local search mobile devices skewed towards younger generations. Likelihood consumers will use mobile search to look for local products or services. So here we're looking at interesting. Obviously, Generation Y's usage is pretty high. Generation X, which means 30 to 43, so I still fall within this time frame. So this is me. Although I can tell you that I'm probably here. I hardly use my phone. I try to stay away from my mobile all the time. The only time is when an IC is contacting me via email or Basecamp, and that's when I actually reach out to my phone. But other than that, I try to stay from it. But you know what? I may be just the odd person. But look at here, Generation Y, very high in usage, right? So if you have a client or a prospect that's trying to target these individuals, great piece of information, right? You can present this information to them. Writings on the wall. It's a very reputable a study that was done. Mobile ad campaign performance data available in significant volume and detail. So again, there are different insights. I'm not sure if this information, if you are really kind of digging into these insights, it's free for you. I mean, you can kind of review the article. Obviously they did this report for a reason. They probably want to sell it. So if you're looking at a specific one, my recommendations, go to Think Google. Google Trends, or also in K2, since we're part of the Google Alliance. There's some great information there, and I'm sure there's information on mobile display ads. I can assure you of that. Okay, consumers prefer mobile websites over mobile apps. Okay, here we go. This is a little bit of that word that's brewing. Prefer platform when using a smartphone, mobile website versus mobile application. Prefer platform when using a tablet, mobile website versus mobile application. So again, very interesting fact, very interesting. I know, there's a school of thought that's really focusing on mobile applications and the growth of that. Maybe it will turn around in the next few years. But today, responsive is what I would recommend in mobile websites. And mobile users on the go usually search with local intent. Google reported last year that 56% of smartphone searchers when on the go or in store have local intent. So, make sure that your mobile marketing strategy is focused on local. Okay, so this is a very interesting article. I highly recommend that you take the time, dissect it, and see how you can apply it to your clients on SEO, paid search, social strategy to get the best out of it and get them up into the up and coming trends ahead of the competitors, ahead of leading edge. Okay, wanted to share that with you. Moving on into our presentation here. Okay. This is an interesting article, and I know I'm getting some questions, and I will definitely try to address them if I can at the call today, or I'll definitely email you. So I will try at the end to kind of go through them. So I am getting a lot of feedback, and that's great. That's what we want to see. But I wanted to share this interesting article on 3 easy checks that you can do when you feel that your SEO campaign is not performing, or like the title says, busted SEO campaign. Now, sometimes we do get these requests or these questions from ICs whether they're going to be working on a new SEO project or even within their existing SEO project, and they're like, you know what? It's not working. What we're doing for the past 3 months, something's wrong, and they don't know how to really determine what's happening. Or maybe their client told them, their prospect, told them, look, I've been working with this company for the last 6 months, and something's not working. Before you take on that project, you can definitely do these 3 easy checks yourself, or you can let us know if we can assist you in some of this work. But it's very simple. The 3 easy checks to make sure that you are on the right path. It can be done at a pre-sale stage, or while you are you've engaged the client. So if you notice that you have you're working with the client and it's month 3, month 4, month 5, and nothing's happening, do not wait for the production team to notify you. I know that we try our best to kind of give you recommendations and provide you with as much information. But again, I am in, my role in I kind of always like to put the sales hat on, the account manager hat on. I would always take on that responsibility myself as well. Don't just let the ship sink. If you know the ship is not going the route you want it to go, and you're not getting any feedback from your SEO team, well, poke them, right? Give them a little poke. What's happening? Help me out. What's going on? And these 3 easy checks will help you regardless whether you connect with your SEO team, although I would highly recommend it. Don't try to do things on your own. Speak with your team, your SEO team, your supplier, to make sure they can help you. But these are 3 simple checks that you can do on your own without the assistance of a highly technical SEO specialist. The first check is the initial client check. Check that the work has been done, what has been done against what's going on in the industry. What does that mean? Okay, are you implementing an up-to-date SEO strategy, or are you still doing things that you shouldn't be doing? And I'm talking about the fact that I still get questions from ICs where they're asking us if link building if you are doing link submissions to specific blogging sites where you know that what you're doing is unless you're doing proper blogging, you're just buying links from blogging sites, then that's you shouldn't be doing that, right? You got to make sure that if you have a good strategy in part, that you are doing proper link building or a good link building campaign, right? Or the fact that, you know what, you're still trying to put 3 keywords in, optimize 3 keywords, 3 different keywords, let me say, on one page. It doesn't work that way. Typically, you want to optimize 1 page, 1 keyword, 1 geo target. 18 months ago, or it's probably up to even 12 months ago, I knew that we could, here at ALM, I knew that we could still do, let's say, optimize 1 page for 2 keywords, 3 geo targets, right? That has changed, right? So make sure that what you're doing, it's what's going on in the industry. You may want to figure out what your client's competition is doing, who, the top performers that are getting top rankings. Check what they're doing. I also find out, do they have a higher domain authority? What about their links? You can run a link building test on them, and we kind of do that a lot in our competitive assessment of a site when we take on a project. We want to know where these people are linking to and try to emulate that. Okay, you want to double check the keywords are really what the client's targeting. Okay, very important that clients will tell you when they're sitting down, yeah, this is a good keyword. They may not pay attention to it, and then 3 months down the line you realize that the keywords that you have chosen are of products and services that do not generate a lot of business for them. And then they remember, and then they'll tell you, well, we shouldn't be doing that. Well, that was 3 months after the fact. So make sure when you're going through your SEO questionnaires, do your due diligence, spend the time understanding the client's business. Because from a production center perspective, I can tell you that we only know the information that you provide to us. Okay. Now we do some research and we do have industry experience, but the more information that we get from the IC and the client, ultimately, the better the SEO strategies, the SEO campaign will perform. Okay. Another one is do a tech check. Check to make sure everything is technically sound with an SEO index check. So you want to make sure that which pages are being indexed. So for example, if you type in site siteclientdomain.com, that all of the pages are actually ranking properly. I had a screenshot of this as well. Actually, I wanted to share with you. Just give me a quick second. I'm gonna move on to the actual article because they actually give you good examples. Okay, so just give me a quick second. Just pulling it here for you. So the tech check, for example, you want to make sure that on Google you type in site:clientdomain.com, and you make sure which pages you'll get a result, and you'll make sure which pages are being indexed. You want to make sure that you have done proper proper redirects, whether it be www.redirect to none or the opposite, but they have to be connected because otherwise Google will think it's two different web properties. So things like that have been done. Again, this is if you're doing SEO yourself. The other things that you want to see is check to see if the website has a page of content above the target or topic keyword phrase. So this is another one that you would actually put. It's a good one that I've actually used recently on one of our IC sites to check that the keyword that we're going after is there. In this case, SEO campaign. What's popping from my site, right? Search engine watch in this case. Okay, so there is a number of things that you can do from a technical check. The other one is check for duplicate content. Okay, and I can tell you that clients will not necessarily disclose that to you. They will never come to you say, oh, I have duplicate content. No, they will never say that. They will tell you their competitors do, but they will never accept the fact that sometimes they have duplicate content. They have these pages that you find out after 3 months, and you're like, why didn't you tell me this in advance? Or after you sign the contract, they tell you about this. So make sure that, if you're going to take on a new project, you identify right away that there's no duplicate content, because if duplicate content or even duplicate homepages are being indexed, that could be an issue. Okay, so make sure you take that into consideration while you're going through your process of this site check. My favorite one, and the one that I like the most, is Webmaster Tools check. Because Webmaster Tools it's kind of like you have the doctor right beside you, and you just have to plug yourself in, and it tells you what's happening. Okay, and I can tell you that majority of the sites that we work with that are coming to ALM, new clients, they don't even have Webmaster Tools installed. So it's an opportunity for you to shine, to show that your services are above and beyond that. Pretty much you take into consideration every component. Webmaster Tools not available, well, that's a bit of a red flag, because Webmaster Tools is a very good tool to identify, do you need, are there HTML improvements being reported? Are there duplicate title tags, meta descriptions, or is there some sort of an HTML issue? And I can give you an example where we've gone into sites, and there's, obviously they're pretty big sites, where we've seen, up to 175 web pages with duplicate title tags. How do you clean all that? Whose responsibility is it? Well, what if you inherited this website like this, and now you're in the thick of things in there, and you realize, holy, there's 175 pages that need to be cleaned out. I can tell you that's additional work. Because if the client has not been very open with you and you get into a bit of a noodle and cleaning that out, it does take time. It's not easy because now you have to give each page their own unique title tag and meta description. Okay, so before you take on a project, make sure that the website's as clean as possible. And if you are doing a project, again, use Webmaster Tools to help you. Okay, obviously, mobile usability. It's a mobile friendly. The other one is the indexing, or under Google Index, you'll see the index status. How many pages are being indexed. Let's say your website has, for example, 50 pages, and all of a sudden you're only seeing 15 or 10 pages being indexed. Big issue, right? So make sure that you use Google Master Tools as your doctor, I would say, or your nurse, helping you there. And if you have questions, definitely, touch base with the team. I know there are some things in Webmaster Tools that are a little bit iffy, and sometimes they're not 100% correct. So I will tell you, we found that out before. But nevertheless, ask the question, and let us know, or let your supplier know, that you check Webmaster Tools, you found this out. What does it mean? Okay, because you have to understand that, for example, at ALM, we usually check our clients on the Google Analytics and their Webmaster Tools about minimum two times a month, right? Because we can't be having our eyes on these tools every day, right? I mean, it's impossible. So we usually have scheduled reviews twice a month, at the beginning of the month and in the middle of the month. But sometimes within that time frame, things happen, right? So I would also encourage that from your end, you also schedule these checks on Analytics and Webmaster Tools. So you go in there and you check what's happening, right? And you're also aware of it. Okay, so use Google Webmaster Tools as a tool to help you understand what's happening on your client's website. And I can tell you, with these 3 easy checks that I've shared with you, it's a very good article. You'll be able to sleep better at night because you know that you have a bit of a handle on your client's SEO strategy. Now, again, for those ICs that are starting, it may be a bit of more work that you have to do, that you will get into the habit of checking, and I would always recommend that. But if you have a resource, you assign that task to them. Make sure that on a monthly basis they're going in there and they're checking. Okay, it's always good to have a good second pair of eyes. Don't just rely on a production team, because we make mistakes. We're not perfect. So it's always good to have that. That's the way I would definitely approach that from our perspective. Okay, just moving on to the final piece of today is our case study on website conversion, and this is actually from one of our ICs here in Ottawa. A great team of husband and wife that are building their business in the Ottawa region, and this is John the Plumber. I know about 3 weeks ago I talked a little bit about their adaptive SEO results, and it was a case study. But I wanted to also share this specific case study in regards to a website conversion from Joomla to WordPress. In this fact, it was in this case scenario, it was from Joomla to WordPress responsive. We actually had to work with the IC and the client to make sure that we put we put in a new CMS for this website that was running on an older version of Joomla. I don't like to talk bad about any type of platforms, because I consider myself agnostic. However, I will tell you that Joomla, it's not my favorite. Let's just leave it at that. And in this case, we were working on an adaptive SEO strategy, and we knew that the client wanted to rank for not just for Ottawa plus some new locations. And when we went through the whole assessment, we knew that the website was going to be hindered. The website was going to hinder the SEO results, meaning the technology. Some of the things that were not working were the navigation was not well structured. We weren't able to at this stage. We weren't able to even create new pages. It was pretty messy. It wasn't clean. The URL structure was very messy, and it wasn't just dynamic URLs. It was just the way it was programmed originally. And sometimes that's what happens when you give when a client, a prospect or a client wants to save money and gives their website project to their nephew, their cousin, or Bob working from the basement, right, or Jim or Tim, right? Or or Larry. So when you want to have a business, you got to treat your website as a very important asset. And in this case, he's a plumber looking at expansion, and the website was a bit of a mess. Dynamic URLs, the structure was a bit of a headache. And I know we spoke with the IC. The IC was very open, collaborated with us. It was a bit of a pill to swallow, because you just told them on an adaptive SEO, and now you have to go back and tell them, look, your website's not working, even though the IC had already mentioned it to them, but the website kept just bringing us down. So what we needed to do was develop a website that was SEO friendly and that was responsive. So the IC prepared, met with the client, and was able to use his magic, and obviously through education, to share with them, look, this is what we need to do, and it was ready to be executed. So the solution was we converted the existing web design to a WordPress CMS. That can happen if you are looking at Joomla sites that need to be converted to a more SEO friendly and more user friendly. Okay, never mind SEO friendly. I'm talking about user friendliness of WordPress versus Joomla. It can happen. I would always recommend that if you're going to do any type of conversion like that, apart from the fact that you want to consult with your production team, you also want to make sure that the client has the original design source files. Just because some designers and some programmers, they all program differently. They may not slice or program the design properly, and it may not be feasible to transfer the whole design over. So therefore, you need the original PSD files, Photoshop files. That's one thing that I would recommend. Make sure that you do that. What we also did was improve the navigation. I kind of have shared a little bit of a screenshot of the old site where they only had like 4 pages underneath their navigation. I actually used Web Archive to share this with me, and I'm actually going to show you in a second the website. If you just give me a quick second. I'm going to bring it up in a second here. And the other, so what we also touched base with the IC was, we also need to have more content, because if we're going to go after different locations, we want to make sure that sorry, my system's a little bit slow. It should have been up already. Interesting. I don't know what's happening. It's probably there we go. And as you can see that now we added, before they only had a few tabs. We kept the existing design, okay? So please don't judge the IC or us on the design. We had to keep the design. That was part of the deal. He wouldn't go after a new design, even though we had recommended it, but given budgetary issues, he wanted to keep the same design. So we have more pages under services, a little bit more targeted. We did a locations where now we're going after different locations, and we're writing content about that, specifically Kingston, where he's kind of focusing a lot. So we're doing sub pages. They are third level pages, but we're optimizing them as well. So we did a little bit more content on the website, but the navigation structure is much cleaner than before and more SEO friendly. Okay, so we had to, apart from just converting them from Joomla, which we were having challenges even adding pages, we had to also do a bit of a revamp on the menu navigation and creating more content for the website and integrating the blog in a very SEO friendly way as well. Okay, so it took us a little bit of time to do this. There was a bit of back and forth between us and the client as well. We were waiting for content. At the end, we tried our best to meet the timeline. And as a matter of fact, we actually did. So I know Mark knows that. we were at the end. The client kept pushing us to finish the site, and we finished right. I think it was about 2-3 days before we had scheduled it to be completed, and then we had to wait another week for the client to review it and give us final feedback, and then a list of revisions that he wanted that were extras. But anyhow, what we learned from this exercise is, number one, before you do any type of website conversion or even a new redesign of a website, make sure that you consult with your production team or your developer before embarking on the project. Apart from the technology components that you have to take into consideration or implications that can be caused because of the old platform to the new platform, you have to also consider the SEO and even paid search campaigns. I can tell you that sometimes clients will not tell you, even though you go through a sitemap and you kind of map it out, the new project on the sitemap, sometimes they have modules, extensions, links to different third-party sites that you don't even know, and they don't tell you about it, or hidden pages that are not being captured by the sitemap. So make sure that you consult with your production team before you embark on a project, or your developer. Have them review it. It does take time to review it, and they may have questions for you and for the client. So make sure you address that. Number two. Definitely understand limitations of technology. We knew that in this case Joomla was limited. We couldn't develop a full-blown adaptive SEO strategy, so we had to advise the client. And this is very key. All teams involved on this type of a project have to be on the same page. If you're doing SEO, paid search, your web team, the IC, the client, all have to be on the same page. Don't expect the web team to notify the paid team if you're using different suppliers. Right? Don't expect the web and SEO team to understand what's going on if you're using different suppliers. Other components that have to be taken into consideration is the fact that do a pre-launch test, not just of the website, but to make sure that the Google Analytics is installed, Google Master Tools is installed, any type of tracking conversion codes installed, as well as 301 redirects. Okay, you want to make sure that that is part of your exercise and part of your quote to your client. It's just not about moving a website from one platform to another. Although in some cases it can be very, very simple because you're using the same URL structure. But in some cases it may not be possible. In this case it wasn't. We had to change the URL structure because it wasn't working well with Joomla. So we totally revamped that. So we had to do 301 redirects. So take these things into consideration when doing any type of website conversion. Even if it's e-commerce, let's say you're going from WooCommerce to Magento, or WooCommerce to BigCommerce, make sure you connect with the technical team so they can assist you. Okay, so that kind of wraps up our webinar today. Some of our clients, some of our services here for you. Any questions, feel free to email myself or Amalia at wsilm.com. I apologize. Amalia's going to have more slides for us to share next week. It's just that there was so much information, we kind of had to pick and choose the most relevant. So I hope this was very informative. I do have some questions here. So let me go through this. Through these questions. Are there any tools to test whether a WordPress plugin is slow? You know what, Patrick, a very good question. I'm going to write it down. I know you can try to use Page Insights or even on demo sites, so it's very challenging. Are there any specific ones that I know? Let me touch base with the technical team. That way, if you're testing a WordPress plugin, you're doing a bit of a speed test on it. So I'll definitely check on that. I would probably just use Google's Page Insights, but you know what? I'm not that technical. Let me get back to you on that one. Juan Carlos, thank you for your question as well. Taking the use of mobile phones in stores, how important do you think it could be to use QR codes on shelves pointing to our customer websites or LPs? I think it's very good. You want to make your website the hub of all action, of activity. So if you do have some promotions, and I do know that QR codes could be used some for in-store promotions, definitely you want to point it to the website, because if it's part of your deliverables and you're taking ownership of that project, you want to make sure you have the right analytic components or the ideal tracking tools to measure that. So I would say that, yeah, definitely the use of QR codes could give you those type of information. So yes, Mark, I will definitely send you the case study. It's a great project that we've been working on, so definitely we'll send you that out to you. What are my main arguments against Joomla? Is it really a bad platform? Again, Juan Carlos, thank you for that very straight up question. Personally, I like it much better than WordPress, which I find less flexible and manageable. Okay. You know what, Juan Carlos, I'm on the opposite side of the fence. I would actually tell you that I've been using WordPress for many years, and as a user. Now, you have to understand that when I look at it from a user perspective, I'm looking at it as a person that doesn't know how to use any type of CMS. I'm not a programmer. I'm not a developer. I know that Joomla is developers love Joomla because it's very good. Like they like it. It's very easy for them to use. But I find it that even when we're working with ICs and they're using Joomla, even their clients have problems kind of understanding where everything is at, or where the extensions are at, or how do you change this. And you have to use a little bit more of HTML code sometimes when you want to make changes in Joomla, rather than with WordPress. It's just very simple, straightforward, in your face. So my only argument to that would be, if you have a client that is a very novice user of any content management platforms, you want to give them something that's very easy to use, and WordPress is very easy to use. Now, another argument against Joomla, Juan Carlos, is that because of the different versions that they have, sometimes you can't really just do an upgrade. For example, if you go from a Joomla version 1 to a Joomla version 2, or a Joomla version 2.5 to a Joomla version 3, it's a totally new website. So you have to look at the cost implications. You see, with WordPress, typically if you're doing any upgrades to your plugins, you may have some customization that needs to be done, because if you have any customized code, you don't want it to not work if you upgrade WordPress, right, to the different versions, and you're more selective on the versions that you want to upgrade. However, as of I believe last year, Joomla pretty much said, look, 2.5, Joomla 2.5 will not be supported anymore. Okay, so what did that mean to a lot of our ICs? That if they wanted to bring their technology to a more, like a 3.0, or if they wanted to upgrade, in essence, they had to totally redo a website. And as a matter of fact, I can tell you that we did about 5 or 6 different projects last year where the client had Joomla's 1.0, and we needed to bring them over to version 3, and it was a totally new website. You couldn't save pretty much nothing, not even the database, right? So it is a bit more costly when you're doing any conversions, right? So that's my only take in regards. This is my personal take and experience on Joomla. I tell you that I have developers on our team that love Joomla and they don't like WordPress. So I'm looking at more from 2 factors: usability as a novice user, and number 2, the cost it will take, or what will cost me to upgrade from one version to the next. And if, let's say, a 2.5 version is no longer supported and my website runs on a 2.5 version, okay, do I have to now add custom code to keep it working? Okay, so that's the only thing that I would actually say about that. Anyhow, great questions, Patrick. I do owe you an answer. Juan Carlos, if you have more questions on Joomla versus WordPress, let me do a bit of due diligence, and we'll send out an email to you with a bit more on what the experts are saying out there. But this is just basically from me. I'm looking at it from a business perspective, not necessarily a technical perspective. So hopefully this helps. Have yourself a great week, and we look forward to having a great conversation next Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of the week. Take care.